I know you gonna dig this.
Wayne's World, party time, excellent! Okay.
Right, excellent.
What's going on, everybody? How you doing today? So here I am today in Van Nuys, California. I'm going to be all over Los Angeles for this movie, though. This movie, Wayne's World. Do you remember Wayne's World in 1992? I do. It's one of my favorite films of all time. I say that a lot, but it's true. And I have a lot of favorite films. Mike Myers, fellow Canadian, went to the same public school as me. He's a little bit older, so we didn't go at the same time. But still, very awesome. I made a video in Toronto all about Mike Myers locations. You should check it out. When I was a kid, I won a Wayne's World contest. I haven't said this before. I said it on a couple live chats. I got flown to, and won. It was a cross Canada contest, Wayne's World contest, impression. Flew to California. I'm so excited. Flew to New York. Met the cast. It's on my Instagram page. You can check out pictures of me with Mike Myers. Who else? Dana Carvey. Whole bunch of people, the whole cast at the time. And Mike Myers got to see my Wayne's World impression. He liked it. Excellent.
Yeah, and monkeys might fly out of my butt.
I have a deep connection to Mike Myers. I love Mike Myers and I love Wayne's World. It was a very important film for me as a kid when I was younger. Yeah. And here's Wayne's house. So I'm going to be going all over. It's going to take a few days to do this. But I'm actually literally, I can't believe I'm actually at Wayne's house. I'll tell you in a second. So as you can see, I'm very excited. I got to calm a little bit. But this was Wayne's house right here. The sun is not helping me because I'm doing these locations all at different times. I'm going to get out of the sun. There we go. Now, there was a street light here that's not there now. That was obviously, I think, planted for the film. But as you can see, it looks the exact same. Wayne came right out of that door right towards us talking about his future. And then he says he wants to do Wayne's World, the TV show, for a living. Yeah, a monkey's might fly out of my butt, is what he says, right there. And then the introduction of the Mirth Mobile, right here. It's when you first see it. But yeah, Wayne's house, right here. There used to be a little railing going across. It looks almost the exact same, though, different color. I think it was blue in the film. So they've changed up a little bit, but there's a door right out of that door. That pole is still there. Very cool. Now what's also very cool is right across the street, this was Garth's house. Garth's house. The house of Garth. Right across the street. It looks a lot different now. I can't even tell if it's been remodeled or demolished and rebuilt, but this was Garth's house right here. This is high up in Van Nuys here. And yeah, so right across the street, they chose that house. But most importantly, Wayne Campbell himself lived here. Come on.
Car!
We're going to do a lot of Wayne's World locations. They are all over the city. Now, one thing about Wayne's World is it's supposed to take place in Aurora, Illinois. So they used, which is a suburb of Chicago, right? So in the film, they have, at the beginning, they go on a drive, and they show lots of landmarks of Chicago. And I believe, I'm going to say it already, because I already recorded part of this before, spoiler alert. But it's a second unit that's driving around, the Mirth Mobile in Chicago. Wayne and Garth, Dana and Mike were not in the car. And then they use all sorts of small little suburbs of Los Angeles to film the close-ups of them in the car and getting out of the car and stuff. But actually, Wayne Campbell was a character developed by Mike Myers in Toronto. There's a lot of Toronto references, and I'm not wearing my Toronto t-shirt today. I think I'm wearing one that says New Mexico or something. I should have worn my Toronto t-shirt for this, because it's supposed to take place in Aurora, Illinois, but really it's about Toronto. And Mike Myers is a proud Torontonian, proud Canadian, and there's so many references to Toronto. I'm too excited. Stop. Hold on. There's so many references to Toronto. There are so many references to Toronto and Canada. Like Stan Mikita's Donuts supposed to be Tim Hortons Donuts. Things like that. I think Officer Kaharski was the name of the cop, and that's Don Kaharski, who's the referee in the NHL hockey Canada. But yeah, it's a very Canadian film. Very Canadian character. He's supposed to be based on like a lot of the Scarborough. Shout out to Scarborough, Ontario. Wayne Campbell's like the stoner guys, burnouts from Scarborough, Ontario. I'm going to get in a lot of trouble with my friends in Scarborough right now. But Scarborough's a suburb of Toronto, and yeah, in the 80s, there were a lot of guys like Wayne Campbell, from what I remember. I think my sister probably dated a few of them. That's right. All right, more from Wayne's World coming up. Wayne's house, right there. Yeah. Here I am in downtown Aurora, Illinois. That's right. See, what they did was they used a second unit to shoot shots of the Mirth Mobile going through Chicago. Dana Carvey, Mike Myers were not in that car. They were shooting close-up shots all around small towns like Covina, and of course, Covina. Cerritos, I believe they used, but Los Angeles, there's shots, Inglewood. But this main street here in Covina is where they did a lot of the shots of them driving the car in the beginning of the movie with Bohemian Rhapsody. And right here is where they picked up Phil. If you're gonna spew into this. That was right here. You can tell by these streetlights in the background, the one building in the background, but otherwise it looks completely different. And there's a patio, so I can't even show you where the bench was set up. Well, the bench was kind of set up right here, but it looks completely different. But yeah, and then there's a part over here that I already checked out, looks exactly the same. And I'm gonna get hit by a car, but well, then you wouldn't be watching the video. I'm not gonna get it. So Phil would have been right there. There would have been a bench set up right there, and they pull in. Now let me just walk across here. I don't know what is going on in this area here. I was already here walking around trying to check it out, but you do see these lights. It's a whole convoluted light thing in the background. These two lights look like they're really close together, a little far apart. You see that building, that. You can kind of make out the old windows here. The bench would have been right around here where they picked up Phil. So Mike Myers and Dana Carvey, we're standing right here. And you can tell there's a party going on right behind me. But it's right about here. These lights are what's a dead giveaway. And this building kind of looks the same. But that weird awning that was there is completely gone. But looks right across the street. Let's go across over here.
Pardon me, do you have any Grey Poupon?
Yeah, they're supposed to be driving through Aurora, Illinois, but it's all in California. This is Covina, California, and this is right here, this intersection. I just got here just in time before the sun goes down. This is where oh, look, pardon me. Do you have any Grey Poupon? Right there where that car is. If you look in the scene, there is a pawn shop where everything must go, and a hobby shop, and that's a hobby shop. But you see those two lights, and it's hard for me. There's a lot of traffic here, but the same outline on each building is still there. They're just painted different colors, and the third one doesn't. And the third one is a hobby shop. So Wayne and Garth and the boys pulled up right here, and I'm standing where Mr. Poupon himself was. So Wayne rolled the window down right here. And I can't get too far up because I will get hit by a car, but right here. So about from this angle, you see them pull up. You see those buildings in the background. Grey Poupon, one of the most famous scenes. He wasn't very amused. He had no Grey Poupon. Oh, California mountains. What's this way? Oh, California mountains. That's right here is where the Mirth Mobile pulled up. This is the music shop. There is one post missing, it looks like. There's two. But the Mirth Mobile would have stopped right about here. And Wayne, oh no, not again. You'll never afford it, man. Wayne looks in one of these windows and sees a guitar that he really wants. And he says, "You will be mine. Oh yes, you will be mine." There's the inside of the music store right there. And they get some shots of Garth in the Mirth Mobile right about here. It's all out of focus. Come on. So Garth would have been parked right about there in the Mirth Mobile while Wayne's at this window. Mirth Mobile would have been parked right about here. Slow it down, Cherokee. Slow it down, white cube van. Oh, free candy. What? Yeah, so it would have been parked right about here. So interesting story about the Mirth Mobile. Studio Picture Vehicles, who owned the car, they had lent it to Paramount to film it for the movie. Then they got it back. Then they lent it out not too long ago for a student film, and it was stolen off the student film's set. Where that Mirth Mobile is, nobody knows. I want that car. It will be mine. Oh yes, it will be mine. And it's still a record store to this day. But for real, it's been stolen. Who steals a gremlin? Don't get it wet. Don't feed it after midnight. Whatever. And finally, they make it to their destination. They drive right along here into this parking lot to stand Mikita's Donuts, which looks a lot different now, as you can tell. But they would have parked the Mirth Mobile right where that Jeep is. See how I know cars? You can see these buildings are the same in the background. Now it looks a lot different. It was all glass. And I believe they actually did film inside. This is La Brea Avenue here in Los Angeles. And it does look like a donut shop. It's now a Puerto Novo coffee and tacos. What a nice combination. That's going to have a real effect in the morning. And of course, in this scene, the famous line when he gets the gun rack given to him, a gun rack. I don't even own a gun, let alone many guns to necessitate an entire rack. Huh. So it was one of my favorite lines. Yeah, they drove right along here. Parked right in here. And there's Stan Mikita's Donuts. Different sign, same building. And of course, out front, they meet Officer Kaharski. And of course, I'm illegally parked, so let's get going.
Say, I smell bacon. Does anyone else smell bacon?
Yeah, I definitely smell a pork product of some type.
All right, so this location was hard to find, but I matched it up with the building and found it. It is Gasworks. Now, we had a Gasworks in Toronto that was around for a long time, classic club. It was around the 80s and 90s. If you went there, you were into metal. You were into rock. It was a rock bar. And in the movie, they called it Gasworks because of Toronto. Now, this thing has got to be quiet. But here it is right here. There's a giant truck blocking it. But right here, I'm going to go around this way. They come to the club this way. And there's some nice street lights lit up. But this was the entrance right here. And you can see over here where you can't really. Well, here, I'll show you now. These match up, these windows here. And up there. So this sucks that I can't get a good shot. But this was Gasworks, so the sign would have been right up there. Yeah. All right. So in the movie, the entrance to the club would have been right here. That's right, the conversation with Meatloaf. You see, it all looks the same on the side. It's just a little bit older. But I'm pretty sure this building's not going anywhere. I think it's a well, there's lots of companies located in here, but I just passed a National Biscuit Company. I had no idea there was a National Biscuit Company. But yeah, right in there. That entranceway right there. Well, this was stressful. Literally right past this orange truck, that's where the Gasworks is. And the next location, I drove around in a circle twice looking for the building. And it's right here. I'm going to end the video here, but this is where Wayne and Garth go to the second club. Wayne does a little dance right here in the middle of the street. This is crazy down here. Downtown, this is the industrial area. And it is whacked out, man. Everybody's everywhere. That building you can see in the background. You can see that archway. This is the club where he meets Cassandra, where he sees her singing. Falls in love. It sets it all in motion. The rest of the movie. Rob Lowe. Everything happens after this, after he meets Cassandra. But yeah, this is the second club that he goes to. That they go to. Sorry, Garth. Right there. In the Walnut building. I should mention that the famous Laverne and Shirley scene was actually shot on the Paramount lot. And where they shot the actual Laverne and Shirley opening. So, yeah, and that's closed because of... So I can't show that. So I got most of it. Party on.
COVID-19!
Okay, so go Leafs. I'm going to end it here. I can't get to the Chicago locations because that's about $5,000 to fly from here to Chicago and then stay there for a week and get all those locations. So, yeah, great. Not going to do that. Oh, Mr. Orange Truck. A truck with a tractor on the back. As a kid, I would have found that really fascinating. So yeah, this was the building. There's stuff in Chicago. Not going to Chicago yet, but I'll be there later this year. But so maybe I'll do some more Wayne's World Part 2, the movie Part 2, and Part 2 locations, because there are some Chicago locations I'd like to get. But they did film her music video at the Los Angeles Arboretum, I believe it's called. A big place with flowers, and they filmed everything there. But yeah, just gonna cut it with. I wanted to get a few of the building. I wanted to get more establishing shots and cool stuff from Wayne's World. All right, so, well, I could. It's gonna be hard to match up all the shrubbery and all that stuff. So sorry, somebody's trying to talk to me, but I don't try to match up shrubbery. It's too loud. I could match up shrubbery, and monkeys might fly out of my. You know the rest. All right, somebody's trying to get my attention here. It's really bizarre down here. What's up? I don't know where it is. I do. Oh, it's right there. It's there to your left. The Greyhound. All right. Peace out. I did know. Now I feel bad, but I was trying to film. It's right over there. Party on. Peace out.